Voters today have some options in terms of how they vote and when they vote. The main choices are voting in person at a polling place on Election Day, voting early in person before Election Day, or voting by mail. There's been some form of absentee voting available to voters since the founding of the Republic, and early voting and mail voting have been around in some form for more than 100 years. But the snapshot of how people vote has really evolved over the years. In 1972, for example, about 95% of people voted in person at a polling place on Election Day. But then a couple years after that, states started to adopt new laws when it came to mail voting and early voting. And then over the years, we saw more and more people voting early, either in person or by mail. And we saw that the overall share of people voting on Election Day going down. That really shot up in 2020 when almost 70% of people, of voters, voted before Election Day. That was driven largely by the pandemic. Another thing we saw in 2020 was that the issue of early voting and mail voting became highly politicized. It didn't used to be that way for years. There were no sharp partisan divides in terms of how people felt about early voting and mail voting. But we saw that change quite a bit in 2020. After that, in the 2022 election, things leveled out. About half of people voted on Election Day, about half of people voted before, continuing that upward trend that we had been seeing for years.